back to Inside City Hall. We have a story right now that you're going to hear about first only on New York One. A coalition of manufacturers and restaurant owners and recyclers have filed a lawsuit against the city to overturn the de Blasio administration's decision to ban styrofoam food containers beginning on July 1st. The suit is aimed at Sanitation Commissioner Catherine Garcia's decision back in January, and it claims that she and the administration violated a clear mandate from the city council that requires them first to attempt to recycle this material as opposed to banning it. Here now to talk more about it is Randy Mastro, a former deputy mayor who is representing the plaintiffs in this suit. Thank you for joining us. Good to see you.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, we did a show not that long ago where the whole notion of recycling came up, and you helpfully some of this stuff, some props here, and this is the stuff that a lot of people see day in and day out. The familiar clamshell that you used to see all the time in fast food restaurants, now you get it at other places. The familiar styrofoam coffee cup. We've got, of course, the stuff you get your eggs in, and then that clear stuff, which every other deli in town has for you to scoop your salad into, the clear cups and so forth. All of this stuff can, in fact, be recycled. I learned that here on the show.
Absolutely.
And you're saying that the city, instead of recycling it, is not. It has declared that they're going to just ban it.
Actually, it's even crazier than that, Errol. And to me, this is a crazy decision by the city. As a former deputy mayor, I've seen some crazy ones over the years. This one makes no sense because the city council mandated recycling so long as it was economically feasible and environmentally effective to do so. And guess what? The industry got together and put together a program for the city that essentially assured the city of a recycling program that would cover all of these materials, everything you see on this table. Okay. It guaranteed that there would be, for the city, lower landfill costs. There would be an increased revenue stream from the recycling, and, just as importantly, a lot less of this stuff ending up in landfills than the very narrow ban the de Blasio administration decided to impose. So you have both an economic windfall to the city's coffers and environmental effectiveness in its purest sense. All of this polystyrene material, less of it ends up in landfills than ever before. But the de Blasio administration chose instead and just these items. Just these two on the table.
No ban on like the deli?
Only food service items that are typical at restaurants when you take a burger or you get a cup of coffee. That's all that is banned, called soft foam. This same material that you get in your grocery store, okay, that's got food already in it, that's not banned.
Okay, so
this
not
will
rational,
still
not rational.
This will still end up in landfills. And all of this hard stuff, all this hard stuff you see here, that you get your salad bars and your cups for water and your plastic utensils, all of that, the city was supposed to recycle, but it all ends up in landfills now.
No, see, this is the real shocker for me, as the guy who takes out the garbage in my house, is that I've been recycling this stuff for months. And I'm going to read a section from the lawsuit that you filed today, and it says, while the city added rigid polystyrene to the list of materials residents are required to separate for recycling in 2013, the city has since recycled none of the thousands of tons of such waste its trucks have collected because the city never developed a plan to actually recycle it. In other words, all of that waste has ended up being landfilled anyway.
Absolutely right. And the commissioner admitted it in her decision. And here's the key. Here's the key. Industry comes forward and says, hey, your dirty little secret, city, that you don't actually recycle any of that rigid polystyrene, we're going to help you recycle everything. We're going to guarantee you a financial return for at least the next 5 years. In fact, parties came forward to say, one party in particular, we want to buy it all. We have 5 times the demand for the city's foam waste.
And to be clear, the firms that you're talking about include DART, which is the major maker of all of this stuff.
And PRI, a major recycler and manufacturer. And what they do is sort it, they recycle it, and they turn it into new products like picture frames, like office supply items and containers. There is a robust market for this. In fact, the vast majority of picture frames that you have out there use these kinds of products.
Yeah, the recycling guy gave me one last time. He gave me a nice picture of myself in it.
Well,
it was kind of nice.
But this is also very important, Errol, because these kinds of items, they're cost effective for small restaurants. That survive on small margins, and the costs to them of no longer being able to have these products and have to pay for more expensive items, many of which themselves can't be recycled, they are feeling in jeopardy. That's why so many restaurants have joined our coalition. And I have to say this, to recycle this, reducing how much polystyrene ends up in our landfills and producing millions more for the city's coffers, that is a win-win for everyone. And the city council therefore mandated that the city recycle.
Well, that's going to be my next question. Why are you bringing a lawsuit? Why isn't the city council simply stepping forward and saying, you know, hey, Commissioner, we passed a law saying that there would be recycling of this stuff. How come you're not recycling?
Well, fair question. And the city council only knows what the administration has told the city council was the product of a supposedly objective review. But let's be honest about it. Bill de Blasio campaigned on a commitment to, quote, get rid of styrofoam. The day he appointed Commissioner Garcia, at that press conference, when he was announcing her appointment, he said, I'm going to get rid of styrofoam in city government and nationally writ large, because I don't want to do anything on a small scale.
Yeah, as we heard yesterday.
But the fact of the matter is, new commissioner, her mandate from the city council, determine whether these soft foam products, food service items, can be recycled. Industry comes forward, proves it beyond any shadow of a doubt.
We'll buy all of it and pay you for it. Yeah, that sounds like a market. But
it sounds like a pretty good market to me. But not just this, but everything else.
Put your deputy mayor's hat on for a minute. I mean, the sanitation commissioner doesn't work for the city council. She works for the mayor. She does what the mayor tells her to. She serves at the pleasure of the mayor. Campaign promises are not lightly made. You know, having been made, there's kind of an implied political and moral obligation to try and meet that obligation. And plus, the mayor seems to believe in this.
The measure of leadership is to understand when you've made a mistake based on the objective evidence. And great leaders can acknowledge when they've made a mistake. In this instance, fact of the matter is, there is economic benefit to the city in this plan, there is environmental benefit to the city in this plan, and the city council therefore mandated that it occur. So industry groups, restaurants who are literally having their livelihoods threatened, they've come forward and said, enough. We want to recycle, and we want the ban to stop.
And to be clear,